Actually, I think the loss to Sauk Valley kind of did it to us. We were really disappointed with how we played, and I think we talked about the lack of effort, and in the last 6 games, we have not had a lack of effort from anybody. And I think everything's kind of clicking offensively for us. I know you said at one point in the first half we were like 71% from the floor. And we can give the ball to anybody right now and they can score, which is an obvious bonus for us. But defensively, we've been all right. And we always knew defensively we'd be okay. So just working on that end of the floor and then just begging for effort constantly.
How hard has that been to kind of keep this momentum? You know, I know that the team that you started the season with, there's some girls no longer on the team or no longer able to play, excuse me. So how hard has that been to kind of lose a couple girls here and there, yet still continue to, you know, kind of mix the pieces together into this machine?
You know, everybody contributed early, too. I mean, we played everybody, almost every game. So when they are unable to play, new people just step in and they embrace that role. You know, we talk about opportunities and taking the opportunities given. And some of these kids have new opportunities, and they've really taken them and run with them, especially Sydney. But I think since we've gotten into conference, everybody's kind of refocused a little bit. I mean, we had, 3.5 weeks off, 4 weeks off before we came back to these games, so they were ready to play. And I think that really makes a difference, too, that we had so much time off. We were just chomping at the bit to play against somebody.
I ask you this pretty much every year. I mean, it's one of those things. Obviously, you want to start strong in conference. How big is it to come out and open up the way that you have in conference and kind of make an early statement that, yeah, we're here and we're a team to reckon with. We might not win every single game. We're going to be in some wars, but ultimately, we're going to fight you to the end.
Right, and I think we talked about that's important. We got to win the games that we're supposed to win and win them convincingly, and obviously last 2 we have. But not only that, but to start strong and our freshmen to kind of slowly get their feet wet in our conference instead of getting thrown into the gauntlet right away. You know, and yes, we're going to have some serious challenges in the next 2 weeks coming up, but I think the confidence that our kids get from these kind of wins really will help us in those tough games.
It might seem like a silly question with how well things are going, but I mean, what is, in your eyes, still needing to be improved at this point?
Defense. Defensively, I don't know where we were a couple times today. And even against Wright, defensively, there were things we needed to clean up. After this game, we allowed 44 points, and we need to clean things up. We need to do better. But in this kind of game, our mistakes aren't as magnified as they're going to be in the coming weeks. Some of the mistakes we made tonight are going to be 2 points automatically for Rock Valley Wednesday. And we talked about that, and we will focus on that next week as we prepare for them. But defensively, we can always get better there. And I think Taylor said it right before me, that defensively, our great defensive effort turns into offense for us. Very easy baskets, and if we can do well on that side of the ball, we'll be just fine.
Finally, you mentioned Taylor Nelson. You mentioned Taylor Nelson before the season started. You're going to be mentioning her a lot more as the season progresses. What does she just bring to this team outside of, you know, maybe just the glaring stats, especially from the last couple games, today's triple-double, the previous quadruple-double? What does she bring, whether it's a mentality, whether it's just great fundamentals, or is it, I mean, what's the big picture with her?
She brings everything. She's a leader. Defensively, she can stop people. Having her and Kelly in the backcourt together are a dangerous duo. And, you know, they know each other. They trust each other. They play very well together. But defensively, she works her tail off every single day. And that runs over to everyone else. They see her working hard, and they're like, ooh, I don't want to get outworked. Or I don't want Coach to point out that she's working harder than me. So she brings that extra effort to everyone else because of how hard she's working. So there's that too, and I think, you know, offensively, defensively, she's a great player. You know, there's no reason she isn't in the mix prior to these first 2 games about Player of the Year in our conference as a freshman. But she can do everything. She can pass, she rebounds, she can score. She does what we need her to do, every little thing, and she's just so talented that she's going to help us in every asset.